Hi everyone, today we're going to talk details. We're going to talk about an exception to the income tax general rule, specifically as it relates to short-term vacation rentals in Costa Rica. This is an exception that we provide our homeowners, and in some instances it can save them a ton of money. So I wanted to share it here with you today. If you're interested in this, stay tuned. Hi everyone, Sarah Breitlander here, co-owner of Crane Luxury Real Estate and also Crane Property Management and Vacation Rentals here in Costa Rica. And today we're getting in the details. Sometimes I love to get in the weeds. Sometimes my clients love it with me and they want to get in the details with me, and sometimes my clients are like, sounds like you've got it covered, I have other things to do. So whichever you fit is fine with me, but if you are interested in the details about income taxes in Costa Rica, specifically as they relate to short-term vacation rentals, then boy, you are in the right place, and we're going to talk about that today. Specifically, we're going to talk about an exception to the general rule relating to income taxes for Airbnbs in Costa Rica. The general rule, let's start with the general rule before we get to the exception. The general rule is that in Costa Rica, it is not like it is in the US and Canada for income taxes for short-term vacation rentals. Basically, the Costa Rica government says that we are going to take your gross income, we are going to give you 15% of that gross income as expenses, and we are going to do that automatic calculation, and we are going to tax you on the remaining 85%. That's a 15% income tax bracket on the remaining 85%. That's the general rule. If you're thinking right now, whoa, what just happened, and I need details on that, I did a whole other video on that, and we're going to put the video for that down in the description below. And essentially that's income tax law as it relates to short-term vacation rentals in Costa Rica. As I said in that video, you know, one of the not so great things about that regulation is that sometimes that really cuts into my homeowners' profits, because especially if they have actually more expenses, like actual hard expenses that are more than 15% of their gross income, you know, it's kind of a bummer that they have to comply with the law. However, there is an exception, a legal exception to this income tax regulation. And the exception is as follows. And some of my homeowners, particularly my homeowners with bigger homes, or if it's a really successful vacation rental where they have a high gross income, it can really be beneficial. So here is how you take advantage of the exception. So the Costa Rica government, like any good country, wants to ensure employment, stable employment of its people. So the Costa Rica government thought, okay, we're going to incentivize, we're going to give tax breaks to those people who hire Costa Ricans. So if you hire a Costa Rican, which, you know, for my homeowners in our property management portfolio, they love the idea. Sometimes you need, you know, you could hire a maid, a caretaker, really anyone. It doesn't even have to fit into those two positions, but that's just the most common. But you can employ this Costa Rican, and you can kind of register them with Caja, the Social Security system here, as their employer. They do work that's already needed at the house anyway, and then you can take advantage of these tax breaks, okay? I love it because, again, the services likely are needed anyway. You're going to have to pay crane maids if you have it as a short-term vacation rental, or you could just hire your own maid, and that's cool for a couple reasons. Not only do you get the tax exemption, but obviously, well, I don't know, obviously, here in Costa Rica, it's very typical for the renter to pay the housekeeping fee, right? Typically that housekeeping fee would go to Crane because we're providing the housekeepers. But if you had your own housekeeper, for example, not only are you getting tax breaks with the maid, but you're collecting that housekeeping fee from the renter, right? So depending on your level of income, really, the good news is if you have a high gross income, and you know, labor here is typically cheaper than in the U.S. and Canada, right? So you're gonna make your money back triple sometimes what you pay the Costa Rican employees. So it's a really great way to incentivize people to hire the Costa Rican people, and we love it. So what does that entail? So what does the exemption look like? So if you do this and you go this route, basically you get to opt to stay under the regular method or revert back to what's called the traditional method, which is the way income tax works in Canada and Costa Rica, which basically says you're going to take your gross income minus your actual expenses, right? And then you have your net income, right? So it's going to be less than 85% of your gross income, right? And then you're only taxed on that net income, right? So for those people who have more expenses than 15% of their gross income, this is perfect. It's an itemized deduction, okay? So I love it for that reason. You do need to keep up with your expenses, but now it is accounting for every hard expense that you have. Plus you get the housekeeping fee. At least that's how it works at Crane, right? So I think it's a really great exception, and that's something that many of our homeowners can utilize. And fun fact, it does not have to be full-time. You don't have to hire this employee full-time. It can be a part-time gig. And just recently, you know, our accountants advised us that, you know, you could even share employees. So, you know, two neighbors can, you know, have the same woman and you have the same employee and share that. And as long as they're both entering her in the Social Security program in Costa Rica, they could both take advantage of that exception, which I think is wonderful. So really great options for some of our homeowners. Now, there are a few caveats to be aware of. It does affect, if you're thinking about selling your asset here in Costa Rica in the near future, you want to consider whether you want to take advantage of this exception, because it does affect the capital gains tax. So you are taxed at a higher percent on capital gains if you're selling the asset, if you're under this traditional method. But of course, that's a limited exception, and we're going to do another video specifically related to capital gains tax here in Costa Rica. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that we know that all this hard work we're doing on these informational videos is paying off. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao for now, and Pura Vida.